Chapter 13. Sarah, Zana, Abbie, and Constance. "You were there when Kate was born?" Sarah asked in amazement. "Were you her doctor?" "No, Sarah," Zana smiled. "I was not her doctor. I was there as a friend." Just then there was a loud bang as the inner door to the carriage house swung open and crashed against the wall. "Hoo, boy! That'll wake you up in the morning." Mrs. Constance stood in the doorway, smiling from ear to ear with a thin trail of blood running down her leg and her normally perfectly curled bangs drooping over her eyes. "Constance!" Zana jumped off her machine and ran to give her friend a hug. "Are you okay? What happened?" "I see the girls made it here," Mrs. Constance said, winking at them both. She knelt down as best she could with her injured leg to face Sarah. "That was a pretty impressive run from someone your size," she said, gently touching the side of Sarah's face with the flat of her hand. Sarah beamed. "And you," Mrs. Constance turned to Abbie, "I thought you were going to pull Sarah's shoulder out of its socket." Abbie looked sheepishly at the ground. "You kept her with you. Good job." Mrs. Constance tousled Abbie's hair. Then she turned back to Zana. "What is happening? Why are you leaving? Has it really started?" "Yes, it has. That and... Wait, what happened to your leg?" "Oh, that? Nothing to worry about. I got the piff into it within the first 5 minutes or so. It feels like it's all reconnecting, but I have to say, it hurts a lot." "What's piff?" Abbie asked. She was following the conversation closely. "Ah, yes. Photosynthesized intercellular formation foundation. Say that 10 times fast." Mrs. Constance grinned at Abbie, then turned back to Zana. "The rest can wait until you can tell me what has happened." "No, first you," Zana insisted. Mrs. Constance, whose real name was simply Constance, told Zana how she had been cornered by the blue suits but had managed to get away, outrunning them in the woods at the edge of the park. "Honestly, I do not know why they wear suits for such a mission," Constance said, shaking her head, "and those stupid dress shoes. No matter, it worked in my favor. They followed me, of course, but they do not know the park like I do. All my daily walks finally paid off. I know every shortcut and hiding spot there is." "Not all of them," Abbie interrupted. "Fair enough, but I made good and sure that I had lost them before I doubled back here. However, it will not take them long to narrow down where we might be, so I think we need to go." "Our thoughts exactly," Zana said, climbing onto her machine. She looked over at Ted and Jonathan. "You boys can ride together. I'll take this one with Abbie, and Sarah, you hop on with Constance." Constance threw her good leg over the second machine and helped Sarah hop on behind her, making sure she was holding tight to the strap across the middle of the seat. Zana looked at Ted and Jonathan. "You two will head east to the coast and then down to the eastern seaboard towards Boston. We will be heading west. Hopefully, if anyone does see us leave, it will cause a little confusion." The two nodded in unison and put their goggles on. "One more thing," Zana said, handing the girls what looked like chewing gum. "Give the larger piece a chew or two and let it sit between your teeth and cheek. The smaller piece is soft. Stick it in one ear. The piece in your mouth acts as a microphone, and the other an earpiece. This will allow us to hear and talk to each other when we are flying." "Flying?" Abbie brightened. "Sort of," Zana replied. Abbie popped the larger piece of gum in her mouth without hesitation. She gave it a few good chews. "It's not bad, Sarah. Kind of tastes like cherries." She followed the other part of Zana's instructions and finally managed to squish the smaller piece in her ear. Sarah watched Abbie, then did the same. "Hey, Sarah, I like your goggles," Abbie whispered. Sarah's eyes widened. "It works!" she shouted. Everyone winced as Sarah's voice echoed inside their skulls. "Sarah!" Abbie hissed at her little sister. "Stop yelling!" Constance turned around to make sure Sarah was holding on tightly. "So, Sarah, do you like to fly medium fast or really fast?" "Medium, please." "Okay, super fast it is." Zana and Constance pressed the button on the left side of their consoles. There was a clunk as the workbench before them rolled up next to the ceiling, exposing 5 tunnels that sloped gently down into the ground. "We do not want any prying eyes to see us leaving the house," Zana said over the hum of the machines. "These tunnels are not very deep, just enough to get us into the woods on the other side of the highway. We will be out of them before you know it." Sarah giggled. "What is so funny?" Constance asked. "Your head." "My head?" "Yes, With these goggles on, your head looks really big and your butt looks really small. Now that is a first, Constance chuckled as she nodded to Zana. It was time to go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that chapter. There are plenty more to go, so make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming up next. There's a lot more to come. And if you are enjoying it, by all means, feel free to share this with your family and friends so that you can watch and listen together. I'm Eric Jingles, the author of The Nomies and the Surface Protocol. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.